Start it now. You've all beautifully put yourselves on mute, so thank you very much. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments or raise your hand and then take yourself off mute to answer, to ask questions, sorry. We're just going to run through the swimmer briefing that we sent out to you all yesterday. A few points on there. Any questions on that, please feel free to ask. We'll go through accessibility at the lake as well, and then also a few fundraising tips there just for this last week to help you sort of get those last few pennies in. I don't know if some of you guys have obviously received emails from me, but I'm Colette. I'm fundraising manager and I look after swimmers like yourself, sort of raising money for the charity. And this year we have quite a few, which is absolutely amazing. Your little collective have raised £18,000 at the moment for Trifarm for Level Water. So that is just phenomenal. So thank you so much. We're hoping it'll creep up a little bit over event weekend. I'll just pass you over to Jerry.
Hello. So first, I just have apologies from Billy and Ruth. They were planning to be here, but they've just had a bit of a situation. So yeah, they send their apologies. I'm going to run you through just kind of how the weekend's going to work. I won't read out absolutely everything on the swimmer briefing, so please do read the swimmer briefing. Came to you yesterday on an email. But yeah, reading that out line for line is not that fun and going to take forever. So I'll just kind of pick out some main points. And as Colette said, just pop anything in the chat if you have any questions. So kind of starting at the beginning, if you're thinking about what to pack, obviously if you're camping, you're going to need tents with you. We're quite lucky at Trifarm in that we've got quite a lot of space. But when you are setting up, just be a little bit aware there are other teams camping around you. And then, just kind of leave a little bit of space so everybody can have, their team together. It's kind of a bring your own type festival. So please bring your own food and drinks with you. We will have water in big jugs that you can fill up from, and we'll have hot water urns as well. So if you want to bring things like porridge or any meals that you just add hot water to, they're a really nice thing to bring along. We have found that people do like to make cakes, and often turns into like a bit of a cake sharing kind of situation. So, if you are a bit of a keen baker, this might be a good time to bring out those skills. Yes, we'll have a few facilities on site, but we're not going to have really like full-time caterers there. So do bring food and drinks with you, and we will be bringing extra toilets onto site as well. But apart from that, it'll be kind of the basics of what you have at Trifarm, which you know a little bit about already. A little bit about how it works. So when you come to us, you can register. We'll tick you off our list. We'll give you a swim hat, and we'll give you a wristband for your team, a pink wristband for your team. So that pink wristband will be your kind of relay baton. So you just need one per team, and each swimmer will get out of the lake and pass it on to the next swimmer waiting to get in. And we do have, most of the swim hats are pink. We do have gold swim hats for anybody if you would just like water safety to keep out a little bit of an extra eye for you. These are kind of optional, so reasons people might want one: if you have a medical condition, if you're under 18, or if you have some kind of access requirement as well, you might want to pick a gold hat just so water safety know who you are and they know you might need a little bit of extra help. Also, if you're swimming solo, we do have people swimming 24 hours solo at our events, or in a team of 2. That type of extreme challenge, we would prefer water safety just to keep a bit of an extra eye on you guys. So please do pick up a gold hat at registration. We also have green wristbands. If you've got any medical conditions, pop on a green wristband. So if anything does happen to you, medical team will be aware of it, and we can kind of look up your data to find out if you need any help. So that's it really about registration. We will have a briefing at 9:30 for this one, and the first swimmer is going to get in the water at 10. This is like a verbal briefing, and not everybody from your team needs to be at the briefing. If you could just make sure that the first swimmer who's going to get in the water is at that briefing, and obviously as many of your team are available. If there's somebody in your team who can't get there until 3 o'clock for their 3 o'clock swim, that's absolutely fine. They can just come in and register when they arrive. So how it works for the changeovers is it's a 400-meter loop. We have had questions about that before because, I know sometimes it's an 800 meter swim loop. The reason it's a 400-meter loop is a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is we have like a 10-minute changeover window. So the first swimmers will get in at 10 o'clock, and then at 10:50, we'll start to like get people out of the water so the next group can get in. If we had a bigger loop, that would have to be a 20-minute window, and you'd actually get a lot less swimming in than you want to. So we're keeping that as a 10-minute window to kind of get people out. So once you get out of the water safety will kind of wave you towards the exit. Then you'll just need to find the next swimmer in your team and give them the pink wristband. The next group will be able to get in once the last swimmer has gone around the first buoy. This will probably make a bit more sense when we're actually there and we're doing it. But basically, we need to make sure there's a big gap between the round of swimmers getting out and the new round of swimmers getting in. So water safety know who to ask to get out of the water. So 10:50, everybody gets out. When the last swimmer of that group is around the first buoy, everybody will be able to start getting in the water. Do you have any questions about that bit? It's a little bit convoluted, but it does make a lot of sense when you see it happen. You all okay? Okay, great. Thanks, Emily. So there'll be volunteers checking you in and out. When you register, you'll be given a number and a letter. The number is your team and the letter is you. So when you check in, please tell the volunteer that number and letter, and we will write that down so we know who's in the lake at all times. And again, there'll be a volunteer to check you out. When you get out, please tell me your number and letter. People do like to mix and match a little bit. If you have a team that's kind of short with swimmers, if you are swimming for another team, make sure you tell us which team you're swimming for, as well as your own number and letter, because we get left with a situation where we feel like somebody's missing when, actually everyone's accounted for. So we need your number and letter from your own team, but we need to know which team you're swimming for as their replacement. So I think that's all. The night swims are a bit different, maybe, if you haven't done night swims before. We've got a pretty specific way that it works. So we need you to have 2 lights, both static. A white light will go on your goggles and a coloured light will go in your tow float. And you must have a tow float to swim at night. And the reason for this is water safety can see which direction you're moving in, because you'll have a white light and a coloured light and they can see where you're going. Our buoys have flashing lights on them, and then our water safety teams have light up vests on them. They look like kind of like a Y shape. So when you're in the water, you'll be able to see who's a swimmer, what's a buoy, and where water safety are if you need any help. We have a medical team on land as well. If you feel unsure about anything, if you get cold, if you feel unwell, do just go and check in with the medical team. You didn't hear it from me, but they've got a stash of Haribos in the medical tent as well. So, worth just going in to see if everything's okay. And I know lots of people do swim in skins often. We've got a skin swimmer form just for the nighttime. So if you want to swim in skins, there's no approval process for this. We just need you to fill out the form. You can do this on the day. We can put a link. There's a link on your swimmer hub, I believe, to that skin swimmer form. But I would say that if you do have a wetsuit at home, please bring it just in case. Because, even if you do long swims and cold swims, it's quite a unique event in that you're getting out, you're wet, you're taking everything off, you're warming up, and then you're getting back in again and putting all your wet stuff back on. So, those times when you're kind of waiting in between swims, I think we're quite lucky this weekend with the weather it looks like. But I would say, if you've got a wetsuit at home, bring it just in case. It's better to have it there than to have left it at home and feel like you needed it. We do have a fire pit. You are welcome to bring marshmallows. Please share your marshmallows with me. So yeah, that will be a really nice thing to kind of get warmed up in the evenings, as well as the hot water I've already mentioned for your hot drinks as well. Dogs are okay on leads, barbecues are not okay. And I think that's pretty much it from me. Colette, do you think there's anything very important that I've missed off from our swimmer briefing?
No, not at all. I think we've got the two swims this weekend, so we're trialing out a 1 mile an hour swim as well. That will also start at the same time. So if anyone's doing that, I know we don't have loads of sign-ups for that, but you're basically, yeah, swimming a mile in the hour, getting out, and then waiting for the next changeover to jump back in, and just doing that as many times as you like, or as you can, or as much as you want to push yourself.
Okay,
We've got
one
a
bit
few,
different. It's the 12-hour swims.
yes.
We've got some smaller teams just doing 12 hours. So at 10 p.m. we will have a little round of applause celebration and hopefully some really cool photos, because what a cool time to finish at 10 p.m. And then all the 24-hour swimmers will keep swimming till 10 a.m. So yeah, not quite mile an hour, but similar. Sorry to push in there.
Not at all. We've got a few questions. Maybe. What time can people set up their tents on Friday?
From 5 o'clock on Friday.
Lovely. And we did it before. We're going to have lights for people to buy, G,
Yes.
for the night swims.
Yes.
Fabulous. Someone's asked, is a tow float required for the day? No, it's just for the evening. And yeah, don't forget to fill out your skin swimmer form if you're swimming just at night. If you're swimming skins in the day, you don't need it. Barbecue flames, open flames, I understand, aren't allowed. Disposable ones. Is a disposable one to then take home allowed? Who asked that question? Thomas, do you mind unmuting yourself and just, I don't understand.
Yeah, I was just wondering, so you can get those disposable like trays. Are those allowed to use? And then obviously dispose of them at home. Um,
I think that would still count as a barbecue, I'm afraid. So
okay,
what
fair enough.
would be allowed would be like a camping stove, or sometimes you get those small portable barbecues if they're gas, like gas, any stove that's gas is going to be fine. But anything that is a fire stove isn't okay, just because of the way that we have the tent set up. It would be a bit of a fire hazard.
Okay.
So sorry about that one, because obviously sausages on the barbecue are amazing.
Please. One special rules for visitors. Yes, visitors are allowed, but we just ask for people to move off site once it sort of gets to night time and it gets a bit quieter. So I think that's 10 p.m. Is that right, Jerry?
Yes, it's sunset to sunrise. So we need to know who's on site overnight, just in case of emergencies. So spectators are welcome, but when it gets dark, please go home and come back in the morning.
And then can you set up your tent on Friday evening and come back Saturday morning? Obviously, knowing we'll take responsibility for it and Trifarm will not have any responsibility.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's fine. Yeah.
If you've got a briefcase full of money, I wouldn't leave it in there, but fine.
Are you likely to get any sleep?
Do that as well.
Yeah. But
You
it'll be empty.
you should get sleep depending on how you've kind of worked out your swims. So it depends on the schedule with your team, but we do keep the noise down overnight, and the kind of event village area is the opposite side of the lake from where most of the tents are as well. It should be quiet enough for you to get some sleep.
Yeah, the 24 swim, what time does it start? Same time as the 12 hours. So both swims are starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Is there anywhere to run? So I think that there is a footpath that goes alongside the lake, because I've definitely seen people kind of like walking their dogs along the footpath. So I think that would be a good running track. Oh, there we go. How many people have we got? I think we have about 130 participants for this one.
This is nice. Thanks, Joe. It's been 3 laps is 5K. Are there hot showers or a sauna? There are cold showers and no sauna. Don't know if that's a compromise.
Hey, there is a sauna. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah,
Hello.
go for it.
Did you say there wasn't a sauna? Because there is going to be a sauna there. You can sign up for the sauna.
Oh, really? Is that something Ruth's organised?
Yeah. The
Oh.
lady who usually comes with the pop-up sauna at the weekends. She's going to be there on Saturday and Sunday. So if you go onto the Trifarm, you know, the usual booking site, you can book in for the sauna. It says you just pay £8.50 and you can go in as many times as you want whilst you're there.
That is wonderful. Thank you so
That's
much.
one
for that
question.
information. The last out, everyone in, yes. That is something that we check with water safety, depending on conditions. But yes, we generally do everyone in for the last hour. So the tents are on the opposite side of the lake to water entry. So I think we're using the water entry that you normally use where the bar is, the handrail, and the tents will be on the opposite side of the lake, closer to the road. Oh, the tent size question. So in general, we ask you to pack light. I do think there's going to be a bit more space at Trifarm than some of our other sites, but I think that if you have a team of 8, if you bring one 8-man tent for those 8 people, or 2 smaller 4-man tents for those 8 people. So please I'd say for this one, I don't want to make a really strict rule, but I'd say, you know, please don't bring an 8-man tent for every single member of your team, you know, and please be considerate to your neighbours, you know, as you're putting things up.
I'm assuming.
Jerry, oh, sorry, go for it, Sophie.
I'm assuming that in terms of tent size and stuff, so we're all coming from different places. Some people are coming in camper vans. I'm assuming the camper vans and stuff can come to where the tents are. And it's not that.
I'll have a quick look on the swimmer hub because
And someone's bringing a teardrop little caravan type thing. It is a little caravan.
Yeah, I think I've heard from her already, and I said that was absolutely fine. I'm
Okay.
not sure exactly where the camper van. Usually the camper van and the tent camping areas are separate, but I just have to have a quick look at your swimmer hub just to see where it is on this one. But we generally don't have them in the same area because it's hazardous unless there's, I think with your team you have accessibility needs.
Yeah, we all need to be as close together as possible, really.
Yeah, let the tents and the camper vans be in the same area, but the main area for camping will just be tents and the camper vans will be separate. We just have a quick look for you. Yeah, so they are next to each other. So the VIP area, I'll double check with the event manager, but my understanding is the VIP area will be tents and camper vans, and that's anyone accessible or anyone who's doing a solo or duo swim. And then the other side of the lake, there's tent camping area, and then there is a camper van area, and they are next to each other, but they're not the same area because we need to keep the vehicles really away from the tents just for you know, hazard reasons.
Cool. Thank you.
Questions. Is parking far away from camping? So the camping is kind of when you come in through the gate on the right-hand side, around that end of the lake. So I will have a chat to the event manager and see if we will have like a car drop-off zone. But I mean, looking at where the parking is, it's not a huge walk from there anyway. But yeah, I'll find out if we're going to do a drop-off zone with the cars for you or not. Do you need to bring anything specific to registration? No, we just need your name so we can tick you off. Is there anything else?
Pop any more questions in the chat if you think of them. Jerry, do you mind taking us through the accessibility on site as well? And then we've got 2 entry points into the water.
I don't know. Just a moment, I'll get that map up.
It's quite a flat site, which is quite nice, and everything's quite close in proximity. There is a gravel path, so if anyone with wheelchairs just need to sort of navigate that, but it is very flat there. I think we do have some carpet that we're trying to bring in, but because of the weather, it's going to be quite dry, which is nice. So there's nothing that's sort of raising too many concerns for us there.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have
grass
got
around
on
here is
my map,
pretty
I'm afraid.
hard
The
at the moment.
alternative entrance, sorry.
The grass round where we are, so not miles away, is pretty hard at the moment. So it's all right for wheelchairs and stuff at the moment.
Sorry, Jean, were you going to say about the water point?
Yeah, I haven't got that on my map, I'm afraid. Is there an alternative entrance into the water?
We'll find out for you. We'll send something round. We'll double check that with Trifarm. I think the main entry point is a beach entry, and it looks quite wide. And there's also a rail to walk down into it as well. But yeah, we'll check if there's another entry point for some people if they need just a drop off straight into the water.
Are there going to be lights around the rail?
In the night time?
Thinking for at night.
Yeah, we've got lots of strings of fairy lights.
Okay.
That we just kind of
It'd
hang.
just be useful to have one on each end at least, even if not down them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, anything that's potentially hazardous or in the way, will be lit up for you as well.
We'll double check. It's a question: are the loos nearest the accessible camping? I'm not sure if you know that off the top of your head, G. I'll have to have a look at maybe the site map and send that down on email to you, Olivia.
Are there any disabled
think it's
loos as well, by the way?
Yeah, we've ordered disabled.
Yeah,
cool. 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll check that one. I think, and also on the fundraising, I just want to reiterate again, like an incredible job that you're doing, getting the fundraising in. You're providing lessons around the UK for kids that don't have access to swimming at the moment. And we've been speaking to our fundraisers and found out a few last minute tips. Jerry swam Shepperton for us and fundraised as well. And she found sending a WhatsApp broadcast was really handy because you just need to craft one message and then tap whoever you want to send it to in your contacts and it sends. So it comes through as a personal message rather than you sort of spamming loads of groups. And I chatted to another swimmer at the weekend at Coniston, and she found thanking people on social media seemed to generate more donations. I think people like seeing their name up on social media and sort of being thanked publicly. So if you're sort of open to doing that to your donors, that's really helpful as well. We do have a fundraiser. Just pop into the comments. I hope you can all hear me. I'm really sorry. Everyone's in this truck. Let me put that in. That has loads of tips on it. We've got videos on there as well for everyone to use. Please feel free to circulate any video you find on there and anything from our socials as well, just highlighting how important the donations are that you're receiving. You probably know this, but £15 is the cost for one lesson. So just a £15 donation, you're already making a difference. I think leading into that, I think Jerry might have a little story from a pool visit she went to recently, just to show you the difference that you're making.
So I just wanted to tell you about a little boy that has recently had lessons with us. I have a little quote from his mum. Level water took away the gloom and life-changing misery of our son's disability and diagnosis. They reminded us that he's a little boy who can have lots of amazing adventures, try things we would never have dared, like the Bantam swoosh and a triathlon. Now he's a club swimmer and a rising star, a potential Paralympian. What's more, they found us at a time when milestones at school were not being met, walking had been a struggle, and we were really feeling the weight of the restrictions he would have in life. Now we have hope, and he feels like an athlete, and he struts around with his medals. He's grown in confidence and ability and trains 3 times a week and competes with a swim club. Our son is told he can be a para-county swimmer next year at just 10 years old. From his perspective, someone believed in him and told him that he was more than his disability and focused on who he could be. He says he's like a snail on land, but a shark in the water. Level Water rescued my son from mainstream coaching, where they held him back because he could not do the strokes the right way. They made him swim with the 3-year-olds because he couldn't tick the boxes. Level Water unlocked that potential for him, and with a little patience and adjustment of teaching style, they found the inner shark and they showed him the sea. This is the power of Level Water, the power of swimming. So that is
Thank you all so much.
that is Gil.
Are you done?
Have a little video of him on our YouTube channel. So if you want to look up Gil's story, you can look up a little bit more about him as well.
Yeah. I'll pop that in the chat. Does anyone have any other questions or anything they'd like to say or anything they want to share? Feel free to go for it. No?
I've got one last thing before we all go. We do have a few lovely people volunteering with us doing registration. We are short of a few people just to do those changeovers. So if you want to do a volunteer shift, you can sign up for a shift and you'll get a gift from us. If you don't want to do a shift, but you're around and you feel like just taking some names down, you know, we might be kind of grabbing a few people on the day and just asking you to lend us a hand. So do come to Level Water Tent if you are happy to do a little bit of volunteering and you want to get involved. I'll be there myself. Katie, our event manager, will be there. And Matt Maguire, who is from the programmes team, will be there. So if you want to talk to him about the children's swimming lessons, he'd be a really good person to speak to about it.
Other than that, have an amazing weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. And we'll send the recording round as well, so you can pass it on to anyone that wasn't able to make it. I'll stop recording. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.